I think social media quietly is changing what it means to be an artist. Hang on a sec. Remember when making art used to be fun? Now it starts with trying to come up with how your video about making art is going to go viral. And that sort of takes some of the steam out of the engine. As an artist, you're going to be struggling just to get the excitement to make the art, especially if you don't have any contracts to do it, or if it's just for yourself and you have another job. It's like making the thing that you want to grow, whether it's your artistic endeavor or your business, making time for those things in this modern age seems so difficult. So what all the online gurus are saying is you have to follow the trends, because if you want to stand out, you have to make things that are already working. And that is a contradiction, because unless you're able to replicate a trend to the highest quality, you're going to always be constantly jumping from trend to trend, because by definition, it is changing. Trends are not here to stay. They're constantly evolving and shifting. And with social media, the trends seem to change every day. I mean, you could see somebody pop up who's an incredible singer, songwriter, or musician or artist. Oh my God, you see them every day. You hear that song every day. It's used in every video for weeks. It seems like it's, man, is this the next Madonna? Is this person gonna go big? And then poof, they're gone. Where do they go? I hope they're doing well, but in some cases it's like that immediate attention pumps all those eyes and engagement into your video about the thing that you're doing, whether it's art or business or whatever the creative endeavor is. It's all wrapped around content, and the trends that prevail are the ones that you see the most of. There are trendsetters and industry leaders that obviously stand out, and they're always on the cutting edge. They're using a ton of time and energy to make sure that creative people are driving towards a new trend, because even though they might have success now, if they're smart, they'll know that that will shift, because attention shifts and people change, and things that were cool yesterday are not cool today. And sometimes things come back, and some things last longer and are a little more moderate than less extreme. The extreme stuff seems to win. You know, you see a lot of people with their mouths wide open and they're yelling at their audience and they're giving away a ton of money and making people do extreme challenges and realistic scenarios, and it's a high production and they're putting tons of money into those things. They have a huge team, most of them. You're not going to be able to make a Mr. Beast video without spending like $1 million, because it's a high production. It's like a Hollywood level production. When you try to follow in that Mr. Beast algorithm as a one-man band, it's going to be really hard. How much time do you have to spend editing? How much time do you have to spend shooting and reshooting and lighting? And do you have money to give away? It's like, well, that doesn't have to be the trend, but those are what's getting the most views. He's the most viewed person on YouTube. People like me with no following, with no real engagement, at a low level of creator status, I just want to make these videos to make them and to see myself get stronger at the craft. Because I do this professionally, but making time for myself to do it and getting myself out of the way to show up, there's so much more than just my own ideas. I have to deal with everybody else's ideas of what will work and what won't work. And I often find myself talking about those things on here because I battle with it internally. Like, I don't want to hit you guys with clickbait and tell you about the new trends in social media and AI and video making, because it doesn't feel as creative. I think about it to stay on the cutting edge, because I do make videos for clients, and some people do want to know about trends. But in order to stay on top of the trends and use them to leverage your craft or your business, you have to sort of pay attention and be on social media a lot, or have somebody that's sending you memes so you can sort of like duplicate the thing. So there's a lot of energy that goes into keeping up with trends. And then there's the fact that you're spending creative output making an idea that's not fully yours. And not everybody's a video creator, a content creator, or an artist with a camera. So like, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do trends. It means that for me, I know a lot of the trends. I study them, I've observed them, I recognize them, I know how much energy it takes to follow them. I think what's a better benefit in the long term is that artists and business owners who are trying to share what they are doing but feel overwhelmed with all the trends and how to keep up with what's going to work online, it's so much easier to just not worry about that and capture what you do. That art could be the next trend. Not to say everybody's a trendsetter. The style of content's going to change. People are going to keep going fully extreme, heightened production value, crazy VFX and SFX and different things that make the video way more engaging for people so that they don't swipe away. And so if you have the ability or the time or the team to take time to go focus on trends, you're going to want to do that because it is a shortcut. But I think the shortcut there then is only leaving you to lose an aspect of what your art is and how you want to share it. And I think people get decision fatigue and anxiety about all of the ways content needs to be in order for it to perform. And you know what happens? Don't post your art. You don't post your story about your business because it's not ready yet. It's not going to work. It's not as good as this or that. And I think that's holding a lot of us back. That's why I wanted to talk about the anti-trend, how trends are set. Trends are set by going against the grain, by finding that changing pattern. Because once the trend is set, people will start to copy it. And then the uniqueness of that new pattern, everything will start to blend in and look the same. Therefore, people will get drowned out in the noise and not stand out the way the first trendsetter is. So while people are copying trends, there's other people out there that are going on the anti-trend just to be themselves against the grain, rebelling a bit to say like, no, I'm not doing it this way. I know the algorithm wants me to, and I know the audience appreciates higher value, but I'm going to do it my way. And it's going to be for me because what art is self-expression, and the amount of clarity that the self gets from expressing itself is so much more valuable than chasing a content dragon, trying to slay the forever changing trend demon, and really just getting scorched earth because the juice ain't worth the squeeze, y'all. All right, so that's day 6 of my Yap content. I'm trying to improve every day, doing a little editing and adding some music, and maybe I'll start adding a little B-roll. Let me know what you think, and drop a comment on how you feel about trends or anti-trends. We'll see you next time.